My name is Scott Coletti. I'm a senior business manager. I'm responsible for the uh, legal technology architecture at TD Bank. So I kind of oversee that, make sure everything is running and spinning, as I like to say. And any new implementations or new software that comes in, they go through my hands. Yeah, so it's always the same kind of thing. Is like you really have to understand what the users want, right? And I always tell people when I build a system, don't put fields in there that you're not going to use for reporting purposes. And they need to be organized and structured, and they need to be required when they're required. And if you're going to be reporting on data, that you have to have all the data spread around, yet not have some of the data added. So the technological challenges are really not technological challenges at all. It's really understanding what the users want. And if they can't articulate that to you, then it's a very difficult situation for reporting. Yeah. So that's really key when you're doing the implementation is to really ask them what they want in their reports. A lot of times they're not going to know, and that's the difference, I guess, between a seasoned implementation consultant. Okay, who can kind of pull those things out. But I would say that's really where the problem to me exists. The technologies are usually significant enough to be able to support the reporting or the KPIs. It's just that we need to know what the users actually want to run the business. Otherwise, they're not running the business. So it depends, right? I mean, it's both of those things. It's sometimes it's me, recognizing that there's a problem and then going and sort of trying to iron it out to make sure that they solve it. Yeah. Um, Sometimes they come to me and with whatever business problem they have, and a lot of times it's not that, oh, we can't report, or it's something totally different that I realize is caused by them not being able to have reports or the proper KPIs or whatever the case may be, or metrics they need. Yeah. So really, I really think it's less of a technology problem and more of the users giving you what they want.
Yeah.
I know it's really kind of basic, but I really do think that's a huge part of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, you need to start at the bottom to be able to work your way up. And if you don't have good data,
Time. You can't make detail where detail doesn't exist, but you can always summarize detail into a summary that doesn't exist. So pick your poison. You too, right? The dirty data is a huge issue, especially dirty data usually has to do with contact, at least at this day and age for us. It's usually contacts, right? And the reason why they're so dirty is because they're just so hard to clean, right? Because there's nothing unique and nothing unique that we want to capture about anybody. That's going to tell us that's the same person. But otherwise, dirty data, I really feel like for us, it's not a big deal, but it's a huge deal, right? I don't. Again, that's so trite, but garbage in, garbage out, and if you have dirty data, that's garbage.
yeah.
And there's no other word for it. That's garbage. So you have to clean it up, and you have to recognize that it's garbage. Yeah, dirty. And sometimes people don't even recognize it.
Okay.
So we implemented a system, a reverse auction system. So really, it's for outside counsel to go in and they would read through the statement of work and they would basically bid on it, but they bid to the lowest price, not the highest price. So there's some troubling issues with KPIs in this area because um, some of the decision making that you would use isn't always dollars and cents, right? There's other softer kind of things that you worry about in something like that. And I really couldn't ever figure out how to put that into a measurement. I still don't know how, right? Like why do you defer to this firm, in terms of another firm, even though this other firm might be a little bit less expensive? And I get that. I would know it if I knew the business. I understand, but not understanding the business, I don't know how they figure it out. And that's a little frustrating because they can't tell me. I know exactly how they would do it. So you asked me for a frustrating one or a troublesome. That's a troublesome one. I could go into many other examples, and some are good and some are bad, but that one in particular, because there's a human element to it. It's like almost AI-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't want to say it's AI, it's real intelligence, right? It's human intelligence. And I don't know how to make that artificial. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what AI is all about, right? That's the whole thing is you want it to think like human. How we're still early in this, and AI is like the big buzzword. You gotta figure out what's real and what's not. But absolutely, like I could absolutely see it doing that. I mean, it does it now. We don't really use it, but the AI technology supposedly does that now, or it can summarize a document. Well, yeah, I got that. Right. The first thing is knowing what people want, and that goes back to my very first sort of comment is really understanding what it is that they want and qualifying all of that to make sure that it's actually true. Because you don't want to build a system and have the exact word that they want, not really be what they want. So, good space. I know you asked for a wild list, so I don't know if it's real or not, but you need to really have good SMEs. That's the bottom line. That can really answer, and they need to be visionary, right? They don't need to be people who always did the reports and always don't really even know why, but they kind of run the reports and they want the same thing that they wanted now. That's a big part of the problem is a lot of apathy, I guess is the word. And we need to get under that somehow, get around it, through it, past it, over it, under it. I don't know what the word is, but that's a huge. I'd love that kind of tool. I mean, a good system. I love the fact that I have a system that I can report on in real time. Which is, I know today we do a lot of data warehouse stuff, but it really dissuades a lot of people from relying on those reports because it's not real time, and it could be no big deal, right? But it's like they have this perception that it's not up to date, so that they don't want, they might not want this analytics. So that's one thing, really a good tool that gives you up to the minute information, and really a process to deliver. And like, how do they get it? How can they always have the most up-to-date information? That's one of the other issues too, is making sure they always have it. Because you can run a report right now, but it's old, right? And then you run it, it becomes old. So we need to enable technologies that enable them to go, or have technologies that enable them to go in and quickly find what it is they want, fresh, brand new. So those are kind of the tools. I mean, I hope that answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I could think of 20 more, right? But in terms of big ones, and I think the speed, just going back to me, it just dovetails right to my initial comment,
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So we've implemented, not necessarily at this job, in the past. I implemented a system where they were tracking claims, like claims for rejected program RC machines and that kind of thing. So it was, we were really talking about creating a whole metric about a product, something somebody manufactured, to feedback that information, say, listen, we got 72 warranty claims for this little part that keeps breaking. And that's transformational. Because before that, we didn't know what the heck. We didn't know it. We knew they had lots of broke parts, and this thing didn't work, and that thing didn't work. It's never a cohesive sort of, here's the problem, and fix your product. Fix this product that Beagle has to keep dealing with. So hope that was a big huge win, like totally transformational. They can't live without those things.
Yeah.
They can't go back.
Yeah.
Not have. That's right. There's a training issue here. There's a production issue here. I mean, you're really talking about really anywhere along that chain. It could be from the training of the people that are working in your department, or it could be a manufacturing problem.
Yeah. And it's amazing that legal can be the one to kind of has that vision.
And it's their obligation. They're customers, right? Those people who we're servicing are our customers. So it's our obligation. They may not think that sometimes, but hey, if we're going to collect that information, we might as well deliver that to you so you can approve.